Hello Internet, I'm KrissieDeathy and welcome to Krissie's Reads. This is going to be a different format because I don't feel like turning on the light in my bedroom. Also, I haven't posted a video for Krissie Reads in like several months, so enjoy that. Today I'm going to be reading a fanfiction that I wrote called I Want a Cookie Too. And it is a Sonic fanfiction with characters involving Sonic, Amy, and Shadow, so enjoy that. And we shall get started with I Want a Cookie Too. He was tired and agitated, anyone could tell, and anyone in the right state of mind would have avoided him like the plague. But apparently Shadow the Hedgehog was surrounded by escaped psych ward patients. All he wanted to do was to sleep for a few 10 hours. It wasn't too much to ask, considering he had gone a month without sleep. Sure, he was the ultimate life form, and he could go beyond the limits of any mortal, but even he needed to sleep every once in a while. Rouge had suggested he rest at her place. He had agreed and then regretted it. She lived at Club Rouge. Sure, there was an apartment above it, but it didn't help that Rouge would bring up one of her friends every 2 minutes. It also seemed to everyone who came upstairs wanted to come into the room he was sleeping in. Before chaos spearing everyone into shish kebab, he decided to leave. He couldn't go over to Omega's and sleep. The two would just wind up blowing things up in the area behind the garage that the robot called home. He would have to find some place else to rest. Maybe I should buy a house, he pondered as he walked down towards his next destination. He had never thought to before, since he was always running on missions for Gun. He knocked on the door of the small house. It had a nice-sized porch with a swing and a rocking chair. He looked around and took notice of all the trees and flowers. There was only one small country road leading up to the house, and he noticed that the nearest house was at least 1.5 miles away. I should be able to rest easy here. The door opened to a cheery face with green eyes. "Hello, Shadow," she greeted all of her friends. He clenched his teeth through the tight hug. "What brings you here?" Shadow nodded as he looked into Amy Rose's house. Before he could form words, the pink hedgehog grabbed a hold of his face. "Shadow, you look exhausted." Amy gave him a worried look. It was unlike Shadow to have bags under his eyes. "When was the last time you got a good rest?" She hadn't meant to let the question escape her mouth, but it had. "A month ago," Shadow answered. I actually came here to ask if I could sleep on your couch. Sleeping at Rouge isn't very—" He searched for the right word. "Rouge lives above a club. Of course it's not a good place to sleep." Amy took the bag off his shoulder. "Go upstairs and rest. And I mean actually sleep. Slip into a coma if you have to. A month without sleep isn't good for anyone. What does Gun think you are, a robot?" "No, they think I'm the ultimate life form," Shadow replied. Though robot is a pretty close term. "If you get cut, you bleed. If you don't eat, you starve. If you don't sleep, you'll be exhausted." Amy placed his bag in the closet. "Either way, you're a person. You would think Gun would know how to treat people." She walked into her kitchen and picked the mixing bowl up and began stirring. When Shadow stood there for a moment, unsure what to do, she huffed. "Well, go upstairs and sleep." She waved a hand. "I'll be baking all day, so I'll make sure no one bothers you. Now, off to bed." Shadow walked up the stairs and opened the first door. It was the bathroom. He closed the door and walked down to the second door. He opened the door and came face to face with Amy's bedroom. It was very pink and purple. There were posters on the wall. There was even a poster of Sonic, which caused Shadow to roll his eyes. There were also posters of several things that Shadow didn't recognize. Her bed was covered in fluffy blankets and pillows that alternated in pink and purple. He stepped out of the doorway. "Rose, where is the guest bedroom?" "I don't have a guest room. Just sleep in my room. You need a good rest. Now go on, or do you want a warm cup of milk?" Shadow still faced the pink hedgehog. Well, at least he was going to be able to get some sleep. He closed the door. He closed the window above the desk in the room. He walked over to the bed and sat on it. It felt just as fluffy as it looked. He laid down and instantly nodded off. Downstairs, Amy Rose was making cookies. Her phone had barely begun to ring before she flung it to her ear. "Hello," she answered in a soft voice. "Hello, Amy," Cream's voice happily chimed over the phone. "Would you like to come pick some flowers with cheese and me?" "No, not today, Cream," Amy declined. "I'm baking today." "Okay. Would you like me to come over and help you?" "No, I'll be fine. I'll see you tomorrow." "Okay, bye." "Bye." Amy hung up the phone and went back to her cooking. Amy had always known she was a social butterfly, but she had never noticed until her phone rang every other minute with another invitation to go hang out with her friends. She politely declined each one. She even turned down Sonic's invitation to go eat chili dogs with him and Tails at Chuck's Diner. Even the blue blur was surprised by her turning him down. Amy chalked it up to him being so used to her constantly stalking him. Amy was surprised to hear rapid knocking at her door a few minutes later. She peeked out the window and gasped. "Why is Sonic on my porch?" She opened the door. "Hi, Sonic. What brings you here?" "Hey, Amy," Sonic greeted. "I just came to see how you were." "I'm good. Just baking today," she answered. "Cool. Can I come in?" Sonic entering the house probably wasn't the best thing. After all, Shadow was probably a light sleeper, and Sonic tended to be loud no matter where he was. She couldn't risk Sonic waking up Shadow. The blue hedgehog had a habit of ruffling Shadow's quills. She had no desire to have a sleep-deprived Shadow chaos blast her house. "No," Amy answered bluntly. Sonic's frown was instant, and it almost made her feel guilty. "I'm sure you don't want to sit around my kitchen as I bake cookies." "Really? I love cookies. Can I have some?" "None of them are finished yet," Amy stated. "I'll see you tomorrow, okay?" With that, Amy closed the door. The blue hedgehog frowned at the closed door. What's wrong with Amy? Normally she would be all over him, hugging him and asking him to marry him. Though she had grown out of the begging him to marry her over the past few years, she was still blissfully happy every time she saw him. Now he was asking to come into her house and hang out for a bit, and she told him no. The very thought of it boggled his mind. Sure, Amy was 20 and sometimes spent a whole day or two to herself just to bake things, but even then she was more than happy to have friends come over and spend time with her. Something was up, and he wanted to know what it was. The blue hedgehog jumped over the porch railing and walked over to the kitchen window. He opened the window and plopped his chin on his hands. Amy Rose was measuring several different fruits into cups. She had a muffin tray on the table, tart crust set in each mold. She carefully put the right measurements of ingredients into each mold and placed the tray into the oven. She then set up another tray, this time a long cookie sheet. She measured out sugar, flour, and several other ingredients the blue hedgehog didn't know the name of into a large bowl. She walked over to the cabinet and pulled out a bag of chocolate chips. "Eek!" Amy squealed as she noticed Sonic leaning in through her window. "What are you doing?" she hissed softly, trying to keep her voice down. "I was just curious as to what's up with you," Sonic responded innocently. "After all, it's not like you to not want to hang out with anyone, much less me of all people." "I just want an alone day," Amy waved her hand. "Now go home." Sonic pouted at her blunt order. The pink hedgehog mixed the chocolate chips in a bowl. She began stirring the bowl's contents. "But Amy," he whined, did I do something to upset you?" "No, Sonic." "Then why can't I come in?" "Because I said so." "That's not fair." "This is my house, Sonic. Why don't you go home and explore some new place?" "But I've already explored everywhere." "I doubt that, Sonic." A timer went off and Amy pulled out a tray of freshly baked cookies and put them on the stove to cool. "Can I explore your house?" He gave her a hopeful puppy face. Amy still-faced him. She bit her lip as she suppressed the urge to smack him. Honestly, it seemed like Sonic never understood how some of the things he said could be taken in the wrong way. "No." "Can I have a cookie, then?" "If I let you have a cookie, will you promise that you'll go home and leave me alone until tomorrow?" Sonic pouted. He was sure that she would give in and let him inside the house when she bit her lip. Something had to be up. He stared down and shook his head. "Come on, Amy." Go home, Sonic. Amy pushed his head off the ledge of her kitchen window with her finger. Once his head was out of the way, she closed the kitchen window. She moved the small latch to lock the window shut just in case he decided to come back. Satisfied that he would leave after a minute of being alone, she went back to the mixing bowl on the table. Sonic stood outside dumbfounded. He had no idea what just happened. All he knew was that his #1 fangirl had told him to leave her alone and go home. Something really was up. He clenched his fist and ran around the back of the house. He jumped into a large tree in the backyard. Amy had once told him that she always left her bedroom window open just in case she lost her keys while on one of their adventures. Sonic had thought she had left herself open to a burglar, but she lived in a crime-free area, so he didn't bug her about it too much. In fact, he was going to help himself get inside and figure out what was up with the pink hedgehog. He was on the limb of the tree outside her window in a second. He attempted to open the window but failed. He looked inside the room. He jerked back suddenly and fell off the branch. Sonic found himself with a mouthful of dirt. He spat it out quickly and raced to Amy's front door and began to pound his fist on the door as he went into hysterics. "Amy, Amy!" he screamed. "There's a psychopath!" Amy groaned as she heard Sonic's voice ring out through her house. "What is he doing?" Amy spoke quietly as she opened the door. "There's a psychopath," Sonic stated. Amy arched an eyebrow at him. "That's nice. Why don't you go handle Eggman, then, instead of yelling about it on my porch?" "Not Eggman," Sonic stated. "There's a psychopath in your room." He tried to race past her to get to the psychopath, but Amy grabbed him by the arm and pushed him back outside the house. "Shadow isn't a psychopath, Sonic," Amy told him. "Yes, he is. He's a total psychopath. Everyone knows that, Amy." Sonic started to bounce up and down. "No, please, stand aside and let me save you like I usually do. 1, Shadow's not a psychopath. 2, I can take care of myself, especially in my own house. 3, why are you bouncing like that? You look like a little kid. Do you need to go use the toilet? 1, there's a psychopath in your room. 2, no you can't. Otherwise there wouldn't be a psychopath in your house. 3, I do not. I just need to save you from the psychopath." Sonic's face turned red from frustration and embarrassment. Amy glared at him. "Go home, Sonic. There's a psychopath in your bedroom." "No, there's not," she stated. "Now go home." "But the psychopath—" "Keep your voice down. You'll wake up the whole neighborhood," Amy hissed quietly. "But there's a psychopath in your room." "Sonic, please." Amy rolled her eyes. "Go home." "But there's a psychopath in your room." Sonic stopped his foot. "Why are you defending him? What did he do to you? Did he threaten you?" "He's done nothing to me," Amy stated. "He's doing nothing wrong. The only person causing me any trouble today is you, Sonic." Sonic's lip quivered. "But the psychopath," he gestured upstairs. "I'm just trying to protect you." "I'm fine. I don't need any protecting today. Go home, Sonic." While their argument went on, Shadow rolled over. He stretched as he yawned. He felt great. He hadn't felt like 100% in a long while. He would have to thank Rose for letting him sleep over at her house. He put on his signature shoes and opened the doors. His ears met with Sonic's hysterical voice wailing about a psychopath. He walked downstairs calmly as he listened to the conversation. Their argument had moved to the kitchen, and Amy had fetched the tarts and another 2 trays of cookies out of the oven. "There's a psychopath in your room," Sonic insisted. "Sonic Hedgehog, you are 24 years old. You should be mature enough not to call an innocent person a psychopath," Amy chided him. "He's nowhere near innocent, Amy. In fact, he's the farthest thing from innocent. He's a total psychopath." Shadow walked into the kitchen and took notice of all the baked trees. "Rose, why is Faker screaming about a psychopath?" Shadow asked in his usual monotone. "Shadow, he has a name. Please use it while you're in my house at least," Amy told him as she pulled another tray out of the oven. "Of course, Rose. Why is Sonic screaming about a psychopath?" "It's nothing, just ignore him. Did you sleep well?" Sonic gave her the look of a hurt puppy. "I slept well, thank you." He nodded. "May I have a cookie?" "Of course," she replied with a big smile. "Help yourself." Sonic gave Amy a confused look as his jaw hung open as he moved his hand from gesturing to Shadow and then to her. "What? Why? How? Amy! Psychopath!" Shadow arched an eyebrow at the blue hedgehog. He continued to munch on the cookie as he watched what little sanity the hedgehog had slip away. Amy rolled her eyes. "Sonic, if you don't stop, I'm going to ask you to leave." "You've been telling me to leave for 2 hours," Sonic stated. "I'm just trying to protect you from the psychopath." "Why does Rose need protection?" Shadow asked. She seems to be able to protect herself just fine. Thank you. Amy bowed to Shadow as she handed him a muffin. She has a psychopath in her house. Sonic banged his hands on the table. Really, Shadow tilted his head. I wouldn't have taken you for a psychopath, Sonic. I'm not a psychopath. Sonic pointed an accusing finger at the black hedgehog. You are. Shadow just stared at Sonic with a blank face. Sonic, go home, Amy told him in a stern, cold voice. Sonic looked at her to see cold green eyes staring down at him like a mother who was scolding her child. But, Sonic's lower lip quivered. Go home, Amy pointed towards the front door. When Sonic sat at the table dumbfounded, Amy groaned. Excuse me, Shadow, I'll be right back. She grabbed Sonic by the arm and walked him to her mailbox. Once there, she let go of his arm. Good day, Sonic. I'll see you tomorrow. She turned him around to where he was facing the road. With that, she walked back into the house. So, how are you? She asked as she turned off the egg timer just as it was about to ring. She pulled another tray of cookies out of the oven and placed the tray on the stove. Did you just bake cookies all day? Shadow asked. No, I baked some tarts and muffins too, Amy replied. Shadow smiled. Well, your cookies and muffins are delicious. What kind of berries did you put in the muffins? I think I gave you a blackberry one, Amy answered. The two spent the next hour talking about baked goods. And that is the end of this, so I hope you all enjoyed it. I haven't read in forever, which is why everything sounds horrible. But I will practice. If there's any, fan fictions or actual stories or poetry you guys want me to read, you should probably comment and tell me, and I'll probably get to it. Because, I read a whole bunch now. So, thank you all for watching. Bye-bye!